Chip Wilde, the head coach of the Eureka College men's basketball team, joining us now on EurekaRedDevils.com. Coach, it was very much in doubt towards the end, but the Red Devils rose to the occasion. They beat the Gorlocks today, 81-74 in overtime. I would imagine you feel pretty good right now.
It got down to a point where our players were making plays, and it wasn't so much about what we were doing on offense and what we were doing on defense. They were digging in on defense, they were rebounding the ball, and then they were making shots and making free throws. So again, it's much better when our players are making plays and I can just sit over there and enjoy it with a nice cool water.
Several momentum swings today. We got up by 8 in the first half. Webster came back, they regained the lead, and then it went back and forth quite a few times in the second half. What kind of flow did the game have that created that, and how did we end up on the right side of it at the end?
Well, I think that both us and Webster, Chris Bunch, one of the best coaches in the league, does a great job there. We kind of kept going back and forth with changing up some defenses. We were doing the same thing, they were doing the same thing. One thing, credit to our guys, is they shot them out of the zone in the first part, and that's how we built the lead. Then they went man, and so that's kind of how the defense kind of was, or the game was kind of dictated on the defense. When we would switch up, they would stumble a little bit, they would switch up. So that's kind of how it ended up going. And then when it got right down to it, we stayed man at the end, they stayed zone at the end, ball bounced our way, and we're winners.
What can you talk to us about Seth Wickert? 23 points, 8 rebounds, and perhaps most remarkably 45 minutes. Obviously a career high for him. What can you say about Seth's performance?
First thing I would say is he played 45 minutes basically on one foot. He had a pretty bad ankle injury that took him out of the game against Lincoln Christian. Didn't practice the next day and just did a little bit of live stuff yesterday. So Seth is just the guy that's going to do all of that. He's going to get his teammates the ball, he's going to guard the other team's best player, and then he's the responsible one in the classroom. And when we ask him to lock the locker room, he locks the locker room. Like, he's that type of guy. He also does our team laundry, so I'm not trying to get too much information on Seth Wickert, but he literally does it all, and he's capable of it. He's a mature man that just relates well with all of our team, relates well with the coaching staff, relates well with faculty and staff on campus, and I literally can't say enough about Seth. So really what happens is he's just getting what he earns. He deserves that type of line, and he deserves to win basketball games, and he's going to be a successful man after he leaves Eureka College.
We've got 2 more before the holiday break. We go to Westminster Tuesday, another conference game, and then we're back here on Thursday, a non-conference game against Loras. What can we expect over the next week or so?
Does not get any easier. We said that before, with how the conference schedule lined up, playing McMurray and Webster right off the bat, and then going to West Min those are 3 tough conference games for us, and Loras has knocked off 2 top 10 teams already this year. So what I like, though, is our guys are accepting the challenge. When Webster was changing defenses tonight, they were accepting challenges. When Webster had, the big guy in the middle, Miller is a ton in there, they're accepting the challenge. And it's not going to be any different at West Min, and it's not going to be any different against Loras.
That's Chip Wilde, the 7th-year head coach of the Red Devils. Eureka gets its first conference win of the season today, 81-74 in overtime over Webster at the Reagan Center. Coach, great game. Thanks for joining us.
A lot of fun today. Thanks.